name is Paul Keach from Make My Marketing Work, and this is another episode of My Marketing Question. Now, today's question comes from Dietra Johnson, and Dietra asks, what are some of the reasons why exclusivity is so valuable as a marketing tool? Well, Dietra, thank you, first of all, for the question, and there is no mistake that exclusivity, which is a form of scarcity, is one of the most powerful marketing tools available, and there's some very good psychological reasons why. And before I go into my answer to this question, I do want to point out this book. I believe every marketer, and if you're in business for yourself, you better be a marketer. I believe everybody should have this book. It's called Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion. It's by Robert Cialdini, and it's one of the most important books that I've read. I actually keep it right here on the bookshelf behind me, within arm's reach, so that I can refer to it again and again. And there's an entire chapter 7, on scarcity. And in this chapter, just let me read the quote. It's called The Rule of the Few, and there's a quote here from G.K. Chesterton, who says, "The way to love anything is to realize that it might be lost." Now, why is scarcity so valuable as a marketing tool? For some reason, human psychology, we love things that are about to go away or that seem to be unavailable more so than, in order to gain something or something that is available in mass quantity. Now think about, Cabbage Patch dolls. Back when Cabbage Patch dolls were the sort of the toy craze or the Christmas craze. Yes, people wanted them because their kids were demanding them. There was a buzz around them. But nobody was fighting when there were pallets and pallets and pallets of them in the stores. But when it started to get down to the last few, when there was limited supply and a new shipment had come in and people were lined up before the doors would open and they would just stampede and run in, they had no concern for the other human beings surrounding them in their mad rush, their delirium almost, to get to the toy and make sure that they got their hands on one, so that their child wouldn't be disappointed. Now, we can go into a whole nother tangent about, whether or not it's healthy as a human and as a parent to be so manipulated, essentially, by children's desires and by their disappointment if they don't get a toy for Christmas, a specific toy. But why is exclusivity so valuable? Well, when something is in short supply, people want to make sure that they get their hands on it while it's still available. When you're talking about exclusivity of value, so for example, let's talk about luxury vehicles. Not everyone can afford to have a luxury vehicle. So if you can afford one, or even if you can't but want to appear that you can afford one, it's worth having, because having one, everybody knows that having a Rolls Royce is something only the wealthy get to have. It's an exclusive thing. And if I see somebody driving in a Rolls Royce, I naturally assume that that person is of a certain class in terms of their wealth. The same goes for collectors, people who collect certain things. The rarer something is, or a coin, or a defective dollar bill, that had a print defect on it and there was only 5,000 ever released, or a coin that had only a certain number of them were ever made. Those are valuable because having it puts you in an exclusive club. It makes you feel special. It's an irrational feeling, but most of persuasion tactics are irrational or draw on the irrational tendencies that most humans frankly have. And so that's why exclusivity is so valuable. You're part of a club, you belong, and yet you're separated from the rest of the populace. And so I can't stress enough how much scarcity and exclusivity as a form of scarcity can help you with your marketing. So how do you do that? Either you have a limited number of spots, you have a limited number of product available, you have a limited time offer, you have a limited geographic, you have a limited action that people have to take. Maybe they have to come to your store in order to get the special deal. And people can't get it on your website, or they can only get it on your website, or vice versa. So any of those things are types of scarcity or types of exclusivity that you can offer to your clients. And certainly offering a VIP level or a premium version of your product or service that is only limited to a select few is a great way to add exclusivity to your current offerings. So think about how you can add additional value to a small number of people for an additional price, and make that jump in price significant. That will make them want it. It will separate the wheat from the chaff, as they say, the people who can really afford it from the people who just desire it. And that desiring will make people even want it even more. So that's what I think about scarcity and exclusivity. I definitely recommend, as I say, that you get a copy of Robert Cialdini's book, Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion. For My Marketing Question and for Make My Marketing Work, this is Paul Keach signing off. Happy marketing.